Good evening, sim racing fans, and welcome to race number 3 in the WCIparts.com Truck Series here in Sim500 competition live tonight from Las Vegas Motor Speedway on the Sim Racing Network. So glad you've tuned in to join us here this evening. Getting the picture that you see too. You're going to be Aaron Grosskopf down in the production van alongside Sean Yoder for the first time tonight. I am Ben Kilcrease, and here we go, Sean. First of all, welcome to the Sim Racing Network. Glad that you're on board and looking forward to your first broadcast here with the team. And second of all, how about this show we're getting ready to watch right here at Las Vegas? 100 laps, and these guys are going to put on one heck of a show for us here. We've already seen back at Atlanta what the mile and a halves can do here in the WCIparts.com Truck Series tonight at Las Vegas. It's almost like super speedway racing in the first couple green flag laps, and then you really have to take care of those tires because I heard someone mention it during pre-race when we were talking. It's like the Cookie Monster versus cookies, and the track is the Cookie Monster, and the tires on these trucks are the cookies tonight. And boy, it's going to be a great show. Looking forward to it.
I am not going to let the first words that I utter over the Sim Racing Network be cookie, but there it is. It's there. I heard the same thing. Tires are definitely going to be a factor tonight. I believe the track's pretty hot. I haven't checked on track temp yet. We need to check that out and let everybody know where that's at. But I just want to start by saying thank you for having me. It's great to be here in the booth. Cannot wait to see qualifying and to get this race underway. Like you said, 100 laps at Vegas in the trucks, wide open throttle the whole time. It's going to be very interesting. We're going to see, dare I say, 3 and 4 wide and a lot of times in a lot of places. This is going to be exciting.
It certainly is. Championship standings after 2 races coming in. 2 tonight has J.D. Laird atop the championship leaderboard. David Comstock, last week's winner, comes in second. 1 point back, 4 points back. Tied for third is Chad Cole and Jason Jacoby. Evan Brown is 5 points back. He sits fifth. Paul Nicholas Cooper, our winner at Daytona, is 7 back. 8 back is Nick Silver. 11 back, Sean Boundy. Chad Coleman, Steve Ritter, 20 and 24 points back. That's the top 10 points heading into tonight. And with that being said, it's now time to run you through the top 10 on the speed charts tonight. Here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, race number 3 going to be led to the green flag by Chad Coleman in the number 20. He snags the pole with a 31.423. To his outside, it'll be Mr. Excitement, Jason Jacoby, in that number 82.
J.D. Laird coming in third with a 31.448. Anthony Calantoni. If I mess up names, I apologize. I'll get better. I promise. The top 5, though, are literally, actually the top 7 or 8 are literally all in the 31.4s. This is going to be knockdown, drag out. It's going to be amazing.
It certainly is. Moving on to row 3, we have James Pascarella there in the 77, a 4.84, 1,000th slower than him. Trey Edson, 4.85 in the number 40. He rolls off 6th.
Ryan Howard in the 33 with a 4.93, and Justin Fuller bringing up the 8th spot with a 31.494, and he is the last car in the 31.4s.
Still some close times, though, as we round out the top 10. Steve Gottschalk with a 5.17. Jay Graves Jr. there in the 86. He has a 5.19. The rest of the starting field going to scroll across the bottom of your screen as we get set to go racing tonight here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. And we've typically been pulling up and dialing up the pole sitter for the truck series this season, but not able to reach Chad Coleman on the radio tonight. So we'll go to the second best driver this evening, and that driver will be Jason Jacoby, rolling off outside of row number 1. Jason, Ben Kilcrease up in the booth. Got a copy?
Hey, Ben, I got you, sir.
Here we go, Jason. 100 laps at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Put on a heck of a show for us at Atlanta last week. How do you think this race is going to go versus last week, and do you have anything that maybe run away with this thing once we get closer and closer to that checkered?
Oh, man, I appreciate that, Ben. I certainly hope I do. It's up to me to run a good race and not wreck the thing. That's the only way I can see myself really falling back is if I make a mistake myself. So hopefully we'll have some good racing with Chad, JD, Anthony, James, all of us up here and the whole field. And I'm looking forward to it, man. Always excited to run Sim500 with the SRN covering it, and it's so fun to be here. And I'm just super pumped up for this one.
Well, wish you the best of luck, Jason, and I know you got to do your job. We're going to do ours, so hopefully we'll talk to you at the end of this thing on the podium.
Thank you, Ben. Appreciate it. See you
There
guys.
you have it. Jason Jacoby rolling off row number 1. Not the pole sitter, but he was pretty darn close to snagging it away from Chad Coleman. Nonetheless, Coleman will lead us to the green flag, get things rolling tonight here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. It's round number 3 in the WCIparts.com Truck Series. So glad you've tuned in with us live right here on the Sim Racing Network. Be sure to share this video, live video, with your friends and family. Let them know that we're just getting started in the 150-mile race. Race number 3 is underway, and already a stack up from about row 3 on back. Trey Edson just did not get up through the gears there in that number 40.
They're running down in the 1 and 2 right now. The field is definitely, actually the front end's about spreading out a little bit right now. We've got a good single file line there at the start, and we're about, I don't know, back to about 6th or 7th place. But they've fallen into single file, and they're just going to click off some laps here. Hopefully we can keep this thing green for a long time.
Not the best of starts by any means up at the front there. A lot of sort of sleepers, we like to call them, on the restart there, as a lot of guys just did not get up through the gears like they needed to do to maybe contend for positions heading down into 1 and 2. Nonetheless, though, Jason Jacoby fell back to 3rd. He'll work his way back around the 46 of J.D. Laird, gets that 2nd position on the back straightaway, and Calantoni falls in suit behind there in the 4th position. Pasquarello holds down 5th, and we have to go all the way back, almost outside or way outside the top 10. We have to go back to Jimmy North and Jeff Ryan. That's a battle for 16th to find the first side-by-side bout on the racetrack.
J.D. Laird looks to the outside of Jason Jacoby there. J.D. Laird seems to be running that mid to high line, and we've got Jason, actually, I'm messing up names because it's my first time here. I'm trying to get it right. Jason Jacoby running in 2nd, keeping that 2nd place spot as J.D. Laird is trying to run him down.
So that's the battle up at the front. Top 3 separated by about the same distance. 3-4 truck lengths in between everybody as J.D. Laird tags the wall heading down on the 1. You see the sparks fly from the safer barrier. Nonetheless, though, these guys trying to get into a nice rhythm going here. The battle for 4th, though, sort of raging on behind them as they work down into turn number 3. Pasquarello closes up to the back bumper of Calantoni down into corner number 3, and off turn 4. They'll run tail to nose down the front straightaway as those guys try and use each other's draft to their advantage, and you can see it's really working for them as they close in on the 46 of Laird down into 1 and 2. Just as the field started to spread out now, Sean, looks like they're all starting to accordion back together. The draft starting to take into effect with the wear on the tires as we're on board with the Calantoni. Sorry, there as we look back from 5th on back, you just see a tail of a line of trucks. They're all sort of jousting for position here early on.
That's James Pescarola right on Calantoni's bumper, and then we've got Ryan Howard right behind him, Trey Edson in 7th. Let's see, Dustin Fuller back in 8th. It's an accordion. They're in and out. It's like they get in line and they're running in line, and then all of a sudden they're too wide, and they can't really decide what to do early going. Trucks are settling in. We've got a long way to go. How many laps into this thing are we? Not many. We're only 6 laps in. We've got 100 laps tonight. So we've got actually the number 77 truck of James Pescarello looking down the inside right now of the 84 truck of Anthony Calantoni. At 77 truck trying to make the inside line work, but it just doesn't seem like it has the drive off the corner to make it happen.
Yeah, I don't think we'll see the inside line really come into play after about lap 3 or 4 tonight. As you can see, the outside line just going to be the most dominant line on the racetrack all night long. Well, you may have a couple of guys ease up and be patient down on the inside and maybe make it work every once in a while tonight, but really going to be hard to pass down low. Up front, it's a battle for the lead. Chad Coleman has been caught by Jason Jacoby, and throw J.D. Laird in the mix as well, as those top 3 now run tail to nose as they race down into turn number 3, working lap 8 of 100, closing in on the 1/10th mark of this race, and all the podium drivers right there, the podium of the field, I should say. 1, 2, and 3 all tail to nose, and right behind them, boy, a gaggle of trucks led by Calantoni down into turn number 1. Pasquarella battling side by side with Ryan Howard, and then you have Trey Edson and Justin Fuller, Steve Gottschalk in the mix there as well. A lot of great racing going on inside the top 10.
Ryan Howard about 3/4 of a lap ago. I'm not sure if you caught that or not, but he got a little bit loose. Ended up going from all the way on the top of the track, outside by the wall, all the way down to the apron. Gathered it back up, fell back in line behind James Pescarella. But that was a little bit of a moment. It's about the most excitement we've had and the closest we've come to seeing a yellow this early in the race. But right now, things are clean. It's looking good. Actually, right at the front right now, we've got Jason Jacoby making a move on Chad Coleman. He's coming up the inside.
And they're crashing on the back straightaway. The 77 into the wall. Ryan Howard goes around. They keep it straight. Pasquarella went into the inside wall big time there, but we stay green. Everybody keeps it straight. And now they crash more. O'Leary involved in the 08. The first crash kept it green, but then O'Leary came back up onto the track and collected Jimmy North, putting us under caution for the first time. How about that for a plethora of excitement on the back straightaway here at Las Vegas?
All right, I'm going to have to go ahead and apologize for that. Announcers should never say there hasn't been a caution. I do know that. I'm going to go ahead and apologize right now. I'm actually looking at the number 77 truck right now, and it is bent. It is hurt pretty good.
That all started when Howard kind of chose the outside line in 1 and 2, and that put Pasquarella on the middle line, and Trey Edson had a big boost of momentum heading down into the turn, and they all just kind of closed up out of turn 2. Real tight quarters here at Las Vegas, and ended up with a bunch of trucks in the wall. The 77 got turned back across traffic. I mean, we're really, truly lucky it wasn't a bigger crash than it turned out to be.
It could have been much worse than it was. We've got the whole field right now funneling down pit road. I don't think anyone stayed out. I think everyone came in. Everybody's going to stay on the same pit schedule right now, and now it's going to be a race off pit road.
And you see J.D. Laird. Oh, my goodness. Bad break for Laird, who come in third for this round of pit stops just now, getting boosted up on the right side. He is going to lose a good amount of positions here. That'll drop him outside maybe the top 10, top 15, maybe even the top 20. Unbelievable turn of events, and that just goes to show you, Sean, a mistake on pit road is going to be horrifically costly tonight, especially with the tough passing conditions here at Las Vegas.
We're watching JD. He slid through the box, had to back up, get it back in there. Now he's crooked. Not the whole field, but 3/4 of the field basically left him sitting on pit lane because of that mistake. It's got a strong truck, though, and we've got a long way to go. We're only 12 laps into this race, 100-lap race, so he's got plenty of time to make it up. He's not going to go a lap down. It'll be fun to watch him negotiate through the field later on.
Certainly is. Brian Chambliss, the driver, stayed out. He missed his pit box, so he'll come back down off turn 4 and head to the service of his crew. And if I'm not mistaken, he did the same last week, and he misses his pit. No, he finally got it in there. It's really hard, Sean, when you're heading in behind a line of trucks and you're one of the first pit stalls there. You kind of get distracted by not trying to hit the guy in front of you and end up missing your pit box altogether.
Yeah, everybody coming in there at the same time. You're looking at the cars in front of you. You target fixate on them, and things go bad at that point. If that target fixation happens, you just start to follow them into their own stall, and you know it's not yours, but your hands just kind of follow that truck in front of you. There's nothing you can do about it. I've actually done that before in the real world in some super late model stuff. Been doing it a long time. It happens to everyone. It's one of those things. You're going to have to figure out how to pick up the slack and come back through the field.
There you go. Tonight's coverage is part of our triple streaming right here on the Sim Racing Network, live to our Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. No matter what platform you're tuning in on, be sure to give us a follow and give the video a like as well. Turn on notifications so you can be notified whenever we go live. Chad Coleman, Jason Jacoby, that's row 1. Row 2 has a little mix-up for this restart. It's Trey Edson and Justin Fuller starting third and fourth. It's the first restart of the night. This one coming on lap 1387. Laps to go here in Nevada. Pace car to pit road. Green flag back in the air. A much better restart that time by for the whole field as they race down into turn number one.
Chad Coleman leads the field through 1 and 2. Chad got a really good restart that time. Right behind him, we've got Jason Jacoby. Jacoby or Jacoby? I want to get that right. I'm not sure if I'm getting it right. Jason Jacoby. I had it wrong both times. That's not easy to do. All right, right behind him, Trey Edson. Do I have that wrong?
Edson's right. Yep.
Edson's right. Thank God I got something right tonight. I'm not quite fired yet. I'm working on it. Justin Fuller running in fourth place. Anthony Calantoni running in fifth. Steve Gottschalk in sixth. Jake Graves running in seventh. It's bunching up right behind them, though. Right back to about 10th place. We've got things going too wide. Right back around 10th or 11th. I'll go back there and take a look at what's going on mid-pack.
That's Nick Silver down in the 15. He'll run side by side with our Daytona winner, Paul Nicholas Cooper, in a battle for about the 12th, 13th position back there. And behind them, you see John Mushin, our very own, the voice of Monday nights right here on the Sim Racing Network. You can catch the Trans Service Cup Series live every Monday, 9 p.m. Eastern, right here on the SRN. And he'll bring you the call alongside Gael Brooks and Don Runkle and a whole host of others. Whoever we find laying around the office that day, pretty much jumps up in the booth and does a great job with John Mushkin. And he's doing a great job tonight here at Las Vegas in that beautifully painted number 3. But he is in a swarm of trucks right now, surrounded by Steve Ritter. And there's J.D. Laird in the mix too. Remember, he had the problems on pit road, and now he's trying to work his way back through the field, and they're going to be 3 wide in this battle if they're not careful.
I'm looking down on the hood of Paul Nicholas Cooper right now at that beautiful Reading Rainbow paint job that he's got on that truck, and it is busy back here. J.D. Laird has his work cut out for him. They are all over the place. They're 2 wide, they're 3 wide, they're all the way out to the wall, they're under the white line. No one is really picking a line right now, and no one's really picking a partner right now to go with. It just seems like they can't really figure it out. They're not sorting it out, and they're not settling down. They're racing hard.
Every man for themselves in that battle there as well as Chad Cole in the 82. Fun fact about Chad Cole heading into tonight, he's the only driver that has finished top 5 in every race so far this season, albeit only 2 races, and they're side by side, 3 wide in front of Chad Cole. And if he wants to finish top 5 in this one again tonight, he's going to have to watch it in front of him. They are getting really racy through the tri-oval, through the dog leg here at Las Vegas. A spectacular race we're seeing, though, as we're on board with that number 82 as he works his way. Oh, he tagged the apron, got a little loose there, walks it up the hill, takes the dog out for a walk, as now J.D. Laird is sideways on the back straightaway. Hang on. 3 wide again, down into 3.
Trucks are exciting. They're always exciting. We've got really good racing here at Vegas.
Oh, that's not going to work. Ritter gets sideways.
Laird is in the wall. He got caught up in it. Came down, pit maneuvered into the wall. I think that was the truck that got into Laird. Let's hope they're not too damaged, but we had a big wreck towards the back of the pack just then.
Man, and a lot of late comers getting some damage there as well, but we mentioned it 3 wide, and just Laird pushed up off the bottom ever so slightly, tagged the door of Ritter. Ritter slid up, tagged the quarter panel of Lockhart, and Lockhart, like you said, described it perfectly. Pit maneuvered Laird into the outside concrete big time and puts us under caution for the 2nd time here tonight, as that one really bunched up handful of trucks. Jason Barham got a piece of it. Doug Sigmund in the 06 got a big chunk of that one, and the 78 of Dave Coburn. So a lot of damage in this early crash. Only 1/5 of the way now complete with this 100 lapper here at Las Vegas. The field getting set to head down to pit road, and we'll take a pit stop ourselves right here on the Sim Racing Network. Don't go anywhere. You won't miss any of the pit stop action. It'll be on corner to corner. We're going to keep on trucking.
All right, Watson, let's analyze the chemicals in this cigarette smoke. Cadmium? Check. Formaldehyde? Check. Arsenic?
Sir, isn't arsenic what they used in rat poison?
Yeah, isn't arsenic what they use in rat poison?
Oh, what was I thinking, sir? It's not like we're gonna smoke them.
Neither will the rats.
Tobacco is no joke. Cigarette smoke has over 7,000 chemicals. Learn more at thefactsnow.com.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real-world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
My doctor calls me and says, Chris, I have the results of your scan. This is saying you have lung cancer. And that was probably the single most shocking thing anyone's ever told me in my life.
How can I have lung cancer? I'm 39. How can I have lung cancer? I do kick myself almost daily for ever starting smoking. I really do.
Quit your way. Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com.
Welcome back to Las Vegas Motor Speedway. It's we're serving caution number 2 here in the WCIparts.com Truck Series, race number 3. Brian Chambliss scored the leader right now. He missed his pit box again, and I'm starting to wonder, Sean, if he's just going to stay out and maybe try and lead this field back to the green flag. No, he'll come to pit road this time by, so that'll sort of cycle everything around, putting Trey Edson to the lead. He snagged it away from Chad Coleman in this round of pit stops. So for the first time tonight, we'll have a new leader heading back to the green flag, and that'll come in just one lap as we turn the lights off. Top to iRacing.com Ford Mustang pace car. Edson, Coleman, Jacoby, Calantoni, and Fuller. That's the top 5. Then we go Gottschalk, Brown, Comstock, Graves, and Beverly. Top 10. As we look through the field, some pretty big movers in the race so far. The most notable ones, and we talk about this every week, week in, week out. Dave Comstock started 29th. He is up 21 spots in 24 laps. For you math wizards out there, that's just over a position a lap, and we haven't been green all those laps either. So Comstock has really done a great job from 29th to 8th. Kevin Brown right in front of him, 18th to 7th. So a couple of big movers inside the top 10. Even Edson, now the leader from 6th to 1st. So he's gone as high as he is able to go in the field, and he can only go down from here. We'll see what the restart has in store for the whole field, including your new leader, Trey Edson, as they work off of turn number 4. Pace car set to head down to pit road. 3rd restart of the night. After 2 early cautions, we're almost 1/4 of the way complete with this one. Pace car to pit road, green flag back in the air. Good restart for Edson out front. Good restart for everybody behind him. And we race down into turn 1 side by side.
Edson pulled away like Chad Coleman and Jason in the 88 truck. I'm just going to say Jason from now on because I'll mess it up. Jason in the 88 truck, he pulled away from them like they weren't even moving. I'm looking right at Trey Edson's kick-ass beef jerky hood. I'm hungry, man. I haven't had dinner. I got to stop looking at that hood and look back further in the field to see what's going on.
Well, if you want to grab yourself some kick-ass beef jerky snacks, head over to kickassbeefjerky.com. They ship nationwide. Proud sponsor of the Kick-Ass Beef Jerky Xfinity Series on Sunday, live right here on the Sim Racing Network as the battle for the runner-up spot rages on. Jason Jacoby and Justin Fuller go at it side by side, and boy, does Fuller put the pinch on the 88 off turn 2. Those guys racing hard just past the quarter mark of this race. Jacoby wanting to get that position. Fuller wanting to hold him off. And man, what a power move on the outside by Fuller. They're going to get real tight off turn 4. Some great racing at the front of the field.
I think Fuller actually is getting a run here down the front stretch. It looks like he's making that low line work. He's sort of mid-track to the bottom on the white line. Actually, that's Jacoby mid-track to the bottom of the white line. Jason Fuller up high. And they're squeezing each other down low, then they squeeze each other up high to the wall. It's fun to watch, man. It's fun to watch.
These guys putting on a heck of a show. Side by side racing at its best. Jacoby, a good run through corner number 4 there in the 88. He closes up to the bumper of Fuller. Now he swings to the outside, trying to make every inch of this racetrack work for the 88, and he's doing just that. As for the moment, he'll have to sit behind the 51, sort of ride it out, and we have another caution on the racetrack, this one being the third one of the night, and it's down in turn number 1 and 2, and it's with David Comstock in the 42. We just gave him a big kudos for working his way through the field, and he has some contact with John Mushton, putting him around down in turns number 1 and 2 and hard into the safer barrier.
That is painful to see. I was about ready to comment, just to make a comment on Comstock. He was flying, absolutely flying. Maybe he ran the tires off of it. We don't know. But I think we're about ready to go take a look at what happened there.
Down into turn 1, just 2 trucks going for the same piece of real estate inside the top 10. Puts Comstock up and into the wall. And, it's pretty much going to do it for the end of Comstock's race. Richard Swaverly got a big piece of it there in the 38 as well. He got up and into the wall, and Mushton was able to hold on to it, although he'll lose a couple positions as well. Nonetheless, though, putting us under caution for the third time here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway and opening up the pits for the third time as well. Not a lot of laps that round. 4 on the tires, so maybe Sean, for the first time tonight, we'll see some 2-tire strategy and maybe see how it plays out for some of these drivers in the field.
Yeah, I would imagine the drivers that are thinking that this thing is not going to stay green for very long might take 2 just to see whether it happens or not, and they can actually stay out there for a limited amount of time and not completely destroy those outside tires. We'll see what they do. It's going to be interesting what happens on this next green.
So we'll watch the race off of pit road here as everybody looks to be taking 4 for the most part, and it's going to be a drag race for the lead. And how about that? Justin Fuller snags it at the line. Edson comes out second. Third to Jacoby. Calantoni fourth. Brown out 5th, and Chad Coleman, a big loser on this round of pit stops, comes in 4th, and he'll lose about 4 spots himself on that round of pit stops. So a lot of drama, we'll call it, happening down on pit road for these guys, and that's why I love having pit stops here in Sim 500 competition. You know, we have those guys that aren't so good at the pit stops sort of mixed in with everybody that is good on track versus, may have some problems on pit stops themselves. And it really is the great equalizer, I do believe. And it's awesome to see the guys that just hit it perfectly, but still have the luck dished out the wrong way with their crew maybe being a little slower than the guy behind them. That being the case with Trey Edson and Justin Fuller on this round of pit stops. So it's it's really going to be interesting to see over the course of this race, as now we're closing in on the 1/3 mark of this deal, Sean, what the pit stops are going to bring. Do we have any more cautions? And if we do, how does things shake up afterwards after the pit stops?
I definitely hope they can settle down and we can get back to a long green flag run just to see where everybody really should be. Things have shaken up at the front quite a bit. The middle of the pack is totally mixed up from where it was, and that is just because we've had a couple cautions back to back, and that tends to mix the field up in a weird way. You mentioned cautions playing such a big role in how the cars are out on the track right now, the order of the cars. It definitely, you have to concentrate on hitting your marks, hitting your lines. When you're coming into the pits, getting that thing woed down at exactly the right time, getting into your stall, getting it taken care of, watching the speed limit, all of that plays a big role. And in Sim 500, this is as close to real as you're going to get, without actually strapping into the car on a Friday or Saturday night. So it's just cool to see. It makes it that much more real, and that's what we're all about.
Certainly is. While we're under this caution, we'll see if we can't pull up the driver of the number 51, who has now taken the lead after that round of pit stops. Justin Fuller been kill crease, sensor, and you got a copy?
Yeah, we got you.
Here we go, Justin, getting set for the restart, so I won't keep you long, but prime position here. Looks like you're going with the outside line for this restart. You get the lead from the pit stops there. Hoping this thing maybe settle down, get some green flag racing in. How does the car or truck feel on the long run versus the short runs?
I wish I could tell you how it feels on the long run. We had a decent run to start the race. I think it was like 8 laps, but the truck was starting to come to me. This is probably one of my favorite tracks, especially on a long run. So I'm hoping we get a long run, but yeah, I took the outside here. Trey's my teammate, so we're going to get a good little restart here. He's got the bottom, so he's got a good spot to be in. He's going to let me in and see if we can pull away.
All right, there you have it. Justin Fuller leading this race as we close in on the 1/3 mark. Good luck the rest of the way, Justin.
Thanks, guys. Enjoy the race.
There you have it. Leader Justin Fuller set to restart this deal out front, but Sean, we've seen it all night. Maybe not the safest place. So far it's been pretty safe, but in times past here at Las Vegas, sometimes the lead isn't where you really want to be, although having teammate on the bottom going to really help him out here and help these guys get a good launch off that front row. Pace car set to head down to pit road. We're good for one more stop on the pit cycle if this thing goes green all the way to the checkered. We'll see if that happens. Green flag back in the air. Good restart from the whole field and works as planned for the teammates there. Fuller drops right down in front of the 40, and they race down into turn 1. Already out to an early advantage, and they'll go on to race for third behind them, side by side between Jacoby, Calantoni, and here comes Kevin Brown all the way from the 18th starting position, looking for a spot inside the top 5.
I was about to say on that restart, it looked like that plan definitely paid off. Justin Fuller pulled out to about a truck length lead over Trey Edson there. That kick-ass beef jerky hood is sort of fading away from Justin Fuller's rear bumper a little bit. They need to I think they need to gather it up a little bit, maybe get that draft going on, see if they can pull away from third and fourth a little bit. Third and fourth running side by side. It's the prime time to put a little bit of gap on them if they can make it happen.
Certainly is. Early in the run is where you can really get the best of those tires, pull out to an early advantage in these trucks. That seems to be the way to go, is go hard early, then kind of let off once you get a good lead build up and sort of, ride until the rest of the field catches you again, and then by that time they've used their stuff up and you start pulling away again. So the battle for third continuing to rage on. Calantoni not giving up on the bottom side. Jacoby not going to give up on the top side. Jacoby holds on to third for now. Top 2 still tail to nose, and now the battle going to go back to fourth between Calantoni and Brown. Brown off turn 4, looking for his third pole in a row tonight. Missed it by about 17 positions, but he's turned his race around in the early third of this deal. He's worked his way up into the top 5, and he sits top 5 in the championship standings, looking to have a good run and have a good rest of the season heading out of Las Vegas and then to Texas.
I think Jacoby just tapped Edson there just a little bit, it looked like. And Jacoby's got a bit of a run on the outside there. And Edson, I believe, is about to lose that second place spot to the number 88 truck.
Lost it in a hurry. Jacoby on a mission. We call him Mr. Excitement for a reason. We saw him in the grass at least 3 times last Wednesday, and he was still making passes in the grass while down there, and he's one of those guys that always puts on a show for us. He gives it 110% every lap, and if there's a truck in front of him, he's going to do his best to reel him in and battle him for the position just to put on a show. That's one reason why he's earned the nickname Mr. Excitement. And now he's going to go for the lead as he sits second in this deal. The battle for third goes back to Edson and Calantoni, and Calantoni gets a not so good run through 1 and 2, so that'll drop him back into the clutches of Brown down into turn number 3 as those 3 trucks battle between the 3 of them. 3rd, 4th, and 5th. They're off corner number 4. Behind them you have Chad Coleman leading Chad Cole. And Paul Nicholas Cooper, our winner back at Daytona. E.J. O'Rourke, big mover, 37th up to 9th. And Nick Silver from 25th to 10th. Some big movers inside the top 10.
Definitely impressive. Definitely impressive. I'm looking here at the entire field, basically from the front bumper, looking back on the field, front bumper of Justin Fuller's truck, and it looks like pretty much everywhere, but when they get to the front stretch, the start-finish line, and drop down below that white line, pretty much everywhere else, they're running single file. We've got Justin Fuller passing some lap traffic here for the first time in the race. That number 57 truck up there by the wall, letting people by, being nice. Like to see that. And we've got first, second, third past that lap traffic driving down into, I believe that's turn 3. And we'll be running them back to the start-finish line here. And I'll let you take over, Ben. What we got going on? What are you looking at?
We're working lap 40, 60. 40 down, 60 to go. I was going to give you a fun fact for tonight. 5, or I should say half of the top 10 started 18th or lower in the field tonight. So how about that for some big movers, big story of the race is the big movers of this deal. And there you see an early competitor for the lead, J.D. Laird. Very low on power there in the 46. That's bad to see for the championship leader heading into tonight. I can guarantee you he will not leave Las Vegas with the championship lead. Also, the second place in the points, David Comstock. The problems the problems in the most recent caution. He'll have some trouble getting back up through the ranks, as well as Laird was really cutting it close with some lap machines there, as Comstock still on pit road getting the damage fixed on that number 42. So a bad break for the top 2 in the championship standings heading into tonight. Good break, though, for Jason Jacoby, who is starting to reel in Justin Fuller as they race down into turn number 1. Jacoby and Cole and Brown, all those guys inside the top 5 in championship standings, they're really looking, their eyes are getting bigger, and they're looking to gain some positions heading into Texas next week.
Got the championship leaders having the night that they've had. I mean, they were running strong for the first 20 or so laps, and then trouble found them. And it's a bad thing. But when you're right there, like you said, inside that top 10, and you see the leaders of the championship falling out, you get hungry. And let's hope getting hungry doesn't get sloppy, because that can happen. You can get a little bit too into it, and all of a sudden you're in a wall, you're in another truck, you're doing things that you didn't want to do. So they got to take a deep breath, settle in, and let's run this thing. We're at lap 44 right now. We've got a 100-lap race tonight. There's a lot more racing to go, less than halfway there. And Justin Fuller still leading the field by 1.3 seconds over Jason Jacoby. Trey Edson, 0.5 back of that. And then Anthony Calantoni right at a second back from Trey Edson in 4th place. Battle's tight up front, but it is kind of opening up a little bit right now. They found some open air, got a little single file, and I think they're just out there running. And it's good to see a long green flag run. Let's hope it stays that way.
Most definitely. We work lap 45, closing in on the halfway point here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Perfect time for us to take a quick commercial break and bring you to the halfway point. Once we do that, we'll do a top 15, top 20 running order breakdown. When we return, you're watching the WCIparts.com Truck Series live from Las Vegas. You won't miss anything. We'll go corner to corner and keep on trucking.
All right, Watson, let's analyze the chemicals in this cigarette smoke. Cadmium? Check. Formaldehyde? Check. Arsenic?
Sir, isn't arsenic what they used in rat poison?
Yeah, isn't arsenic what they used in rat poison?
Oh, what was I thinking, sir? It's not like we're gonna smoke them.
Neither will the rats.
Tobacco is no joke. Cigarette smoke has over 7,000 chemicals. Learn more at thefactsnow.com.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
My doctor calls me and says, Chris, I have the results of your scan. This is saying you have lung cancer. And that was probably the single most shocking thing anyone's ever told me in my life.
How can I have lung cancer? I'm 39. How can I have lung cancer? I do kick myself almost daily for ever starting smoking. I really do.
Quit your way. Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com.
"51 laps complete, 51 the leader." Here in race number 3 in the WCIparts.com Truck Series at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, Justin Fuller leads Jason Jacoby, Trey Edson, Kevin Brown in a 3-truck battle for 4th over Chad Cole and Chad Coleman. That's 5th and 6th. 7th goes to Anthony Calantoni. 8th to Nick Silver. E.J. O'Rourke sits 9th and 10th to Steve Ritter. Then you have Tommy Ryan, Paul Nicholas Cooper, Chris Caboo, John Mustin Jr., Mark Creighton, David Emig, Jason Barham, Jay Graves Jr., Thomas O'Leary, and Mark Fravert rounding out the top 20. And that's been your mid-race race break as we're closing in on maybe having some pit stops over the next handful of laps. Sean, we can get about 35, 37 laps on a tank of fuel, so not quite in the window yet, but once that window does open up, I can imagine we'll see some of these leaders start to peel off, maybe try and short pit it as we are still got this battle just raging on for that 4th spot led by Kevin Brown. And you had the two Chads, Chad Coleman on the outside, Chad Cole on the inside. By the way, no relation.
Yeah, Kevin's getting chased by Chad squared there, and Kevin is running the right rear off that truck. I don't know whether you've seen it or not, but I've been watching that battle since we came back from the break, 4th through 6th there. Kevin Brown sitting in the 4th spot right now, but He's turning that truck into a little bit of a dirt track ride there, and looking like they're at Eldora a little bit, carrying a little bit more speed than they do at Eldora. But this is definitely the most exciting battle on the track. The 82 goes all the way to the bottom. We've got the 82 of Chad Cole on the bottom. The 20 of Chad Coleman just tucks in behind Kevin Brown there, and they're nose to tail again, running single file. As soon as we get to the next corner, though, you guarantee that they're going to be looking at the bottom, looking at the top. They're trying to find a way around Kevin Brown. This is definitely the best battle on the track.
Some great racing nonetheless, and don't look now, but Nick Silver on the move in the 15. He was, battling for 9th position just a couple laps ago. Now he is up almost challenging on the rear bumpers of these guys.
Yeah, I guess there's always room for more. I mean, if 3 people can do it, 4 people can do it too. Might as well, hey, let's add EJ O'Rourke and Steve Ritter to the mix and have 6 or 7 of them in there. Let's go at it, yo. The 82 is down low, looking to the inside of Kevin Brown. Don't know whether he can make it stick there. Oh, Kevin! It looked like Kevin just gave the 82 of Chad Cole the spot. It looked like he lifted. Chad Cole went by him so fast. That was a little bit crazy.
Some craziness happening inside the top 5. You won't miss anything on our corner-to-corner coverage. We'll take another commercial break and be right back after this from Las Vegas.
All right, Watson, let's analyze the chemicals in this cigarette smoke. Cadmium? Check. Formaldehyde? Check. Arsenic?
Sir, isn't arsenic what they used in rat poison?
Yeah, isn't arsenic what they used in rat poison?
Oh, what was I thinking, sir? It's not like we're gonna smoke them.
Neither will the rats.
Tobacco is no joke. Cigarette smoke has over 7,000 chemicals. Learn more at thefactsnow.com.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Battle for the lead in lap traffic here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. 60 down, now 40 to go. It's getting close to crunch time as Justin Fuller leads Jason Jacoby and Trey Edson. The top 3 all tail to nose. Got to go a little bit further back. How about 2.5 seconds back to Chad Cole, who sits 4th, and Kevin Brown rounds out the top 5. But these top 3 guys, Sean, they're really starting to sort of close back in on one another. They're getting closer and closer, and we're going to have this battle for the lead here in the next lap or so. Look at Fuller, handful of wheel off turn 4 there.
They're closing in on each other. They're racing. They're racing each other really hard, but they're also doing something really smart. They're going nose to tail when they need to, and they are leaving the rest of the field right now. Like you said, 2.5 seconds back from Trey Edson in 3rd place to Chad Cole, and that gap is getting bigger all the time. It just, in the time I was talking, that went from 2.3 to 2.5. I guarantee it's going to be 2.7 and 3 seconds over the next couple laps or so. They are rolling, and you see that if you're watching those cars, those trucks, they're sideways through the corners. It's amazing to watch them. They're up on the wheel getting it done.
That they are. As Chad Cole does actually close it in 2.4 back to Fuller that time, and maybe Fuller starting to sort of slip up here. 63 in the books this time. That puts us 37 to go. Here comes Jason Jacoby working down to the inside in 3 and 4. We are now inside of our fuel window. Who's going to be the first truck to head down, get some fresh tires on and maybe try and short pit their way to a victory here in Viva Las Vegas.
I could tell you were watching Fuller and that 88 truck go through that corner inside they were inside their pit window, but they're also literally door to door going through the corners. This is good racing up front, y'all.
Certainly is. And Fuller with the momentum off turn 2 regains his lead down into 3 and lets Jacoby live to fight for another day. Inside the fuel window, first driver heading down going to be Trey Edson into number 40. He'll grab the first 4 set of tires. He knows that this may be his only shot to maybe grab a win here tonight. Nick Silver also going to follow in suit. So here we go. The pits are open, Sean, and it's about to get busy.
Yeah, it's definitely going to get busy here in the next couple laps. If we stay green, and we're going to see them filing off in probably a little bit of an odd order. No one really wants to give up the fact that they're going down pit lane until the very last second. We may end up seeing a couple pit lane penalties, some speed penalties as a result of that, especially here. Fuller, Edson got in his pit box clean, we were just told, and it looks like the 88 truck looking to the inside again. Did he get into the 51 truck or no?
No contact, but Fuller, I didn't think he was expecting the 88 to be there, and a great move by Fuller to keep from causing a crash there. Boy, these guys have got my tongue all twisted in this spectacular battle for the lead. Fuller now going to head off down to pit road for the 51 as he goes down through the gears trying to get every ounce of speed out of that machine he can before the commitment line, and he does just that. O'Rourke heads down pit road. Tommy Ryan down pit road. So here we go. Pit stops aplenty here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, and we're going to let everything sort of cycle around. Right now, though, Jason Jacoby, for the first time tonight, I do believe he'll lead his first lap of the race this time, or last time by, and he'll stay out another time for the number 88 machine. Chad Cole in the 82, he'll stay out another time, as does Kevin Brown, and Steve Ritter, he's going to stay out another lap, and you have to go back to Mark Creighton, who will be the next truck on this cycle, and now he peels off on the pit road, and it's down to the service of his crew. So for Chad Cole, Kevin Brown, Nick Silver, I'm starting to think maybe this may not be the best decision to stay out, even Jacoby to stay out as long as they are. Maybe they're hoping for a caution, though, Sean. Here comes Chad Cole.
You almost have to be hoping for a caution if you're staying out right now. You see all of these trucks that are running up front pulling in, and if you're going to run green, if you're running under green and you're taking that pit stop under green, you want the most amount of laps that you can possibly have after you get you back out onto the track to run everyone down. All you're doing right now, you're going to have a little bit fresher tire, but it's only going to be 2 or 3 laps. It's not going to make, at the end of a long run, that big of a difference. So don't know whether it's going to pay off for Jason Jacoby or not. We'll see. He's still out there. He's still running strong. He's out at the front of the field, and he's quick, but I don't know whether this is the right move or not.
I'll tell you what a big difference is, though, and that is the new tires versus the old tires. Last time by, Jason Jacoby 2 seconds slower than Justin Fuller, who had just grabbed fresh tires. 2 seconds slower than Trey Edson. So for these guys staying out on the old tires, they're losing 2 seconds a lap. And here comes Jacoby sideways. Is he going to make it in? Wow, a close call there with the slower machine, and he barely gets it down on the pit road. Kevin Brown going to follow him.
Did he get it slowed down, or did he get it? I mean, he came in hot.
Well, luckily here at Las Vegas, the commitment line is way, way inside of pit road. So I think he was down to 50 by the time he got to the line. Now it's just a question of does he keep it on 50 the whole way through pit road.
All right, we were just told that Jason Jacoby got into the box clean, no penalties, lifting up the left side, taking on some tires, taking on some fuel, going to run this thing to the end. 29 laps to go. This thing just got it got exciting about 15 laps ago, to be honest. We had a little bit of yellow flag problems there for a little bit, but we've gone green for a while now, and I hate to say that because the last time I said it, bad things happened. I'm going to stop talking. Ben, back to you.
Yeah, you'll learn as a broadcaster never bring up when the last time we had a yellow or when the next time we're going to have a yellow may be, because it's usually just right around the corner. Nonetheless, though, up front, after things cycle through, Trey Edson has the lead. And how about this? Just short pitting one lap prior to Justin Fuller heading down pit road. He has a 1.7 second lead over the 51, and I don't think he's going to be slowing down anytime soon. Back in third, you have Chad Coleman. Nick Silver sits fourth, and E.J. O'Rourke from 37th up to 5th. How about that for a big mover? 32 spots on the field so far.
You can never count out E.J. O'Rourke. Anytime you're looking at stock car racing here at iRacing, E.J. O'Rourke is all over the place. The guy races everything. He races everything well. So, starting in 37th, coming all the way up to 5th, I'm not taking anything away from that. EJ's just fast. There's no doubt about it.
Got to be careful, though. If you blow his head up too big, you won't be able to get in the vehicle next week.
You got to be able to fit into the vehicle through the cage. That's definitely true. And I'm having a little trouble with that these days. I need to get back in the gym myself, man.
So, it's Edson. Fuller has cut in about 4/10 on that lead. We'll see if the 51 can close in on the 40 and maybe make a challenge for the lead in the final 26 laps of this one. It's getting down to crunch time. 20 to go is what I like to consider crunch time here on the broadcast. So we're just a couple laps away from that. And before we get to crunch time, perfect time for us to take a quick commercial break. You won't miss anything on Corner to Corner. We're going to keep on trucking from Las Vegas.
All right, Watson, let's analyze the chemicals in this cigarette smoke. Cadmium?
Check.
Formaldehyde?
Check.
Arsenic?
Sir, isn't arsenic what they used in rat poison?
Yeah. Isn't arsenic what they used in rat poison?
Oh, what was I thinking, sir? It's not like we're gonna smoke them.
Neither will the rats.
Tobacco is no joke. Cigarette smoke has over 7,000 chemicals. Learn more at thefactsnow.com.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
My doctor calls me and says, Chris, I have the results of your scan. This is saying you have lung cancer. And that was probably the single most shocking thing anyone's ever told me in my life.
How can I have lung cancer? I'm 39. How can I have lung cancer? I do kick myself almost daily for ever starting smoking. I really do.
Quit your way. Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com.
Welcome back to race number 3 in the WCIparts.com Truck Series at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Closing in on the finish, and it is now crunch time off turn number 4. 20 laps to go, 18 trucks still on the lead lap. Trey Edson and Justin Fuller getting set to have a Duke Fest up front for the win here in race number 3. And Chad Coleman and Chad Cole, they're a good portion behind these guys. 5.5 seconds off the lead for Chad Coleman. Chad Cole 5.8 back. Nick Silver rounds out the top 5. And still some great battles, though, back here, Sean, between Silver and O'Rourke. That's for 5th. And Tommy Ryan's there in the mix with Jason Jacoby and Kevin Brown, all sort of tangled in there as well. But the one we're watching up front going to be between Trey Edson and Justin Fuller. Now 19 laps to go for Fuller to close that 0.4 of a second gap and make the move on his teammate Trey Edson.
I watched them the whole time we were at break, and Justin Fuller has been reeling Trey Edson in by about 1/10 a lap. So he's got plenty of time to get right up there on the bumper and make that move. He's definitely going to reel him in. It's just a question of what does he do with him when he gets there. That's the age-old question, isn't it?
Absolutely. And has Edson been saving this whole time, or has he been giving it his all? We'll find out here in the next lap or so, as Fuller has caught him. He's down to 0.3. He's down to 2 truck lengths now off turn number 2. We've got us a battle for the lead as they race to the back straightaway.
He's going to pull right up on Edson's bumper here within the next half a lap or so, and then it's up to him. What does he do? Does he make a move? I don't think we're close enough to really make that move yet. If I was him, I would literally put it right on Trey Edson's bumper and just Justin Fuller in that 51 truck, just put it on the bumper, ride there for the next 15 laps.
Try and make him make a mistake as we're on board with Fuller as he's closing in. Fuller has been real good on the bottom side of the racetrack. If anybody can make the bottom work, I think it's going to be the 51 of Fuller. We'll just have to wait and see. He's there now. Now he's just kind of a cat playing with his prey. What's he going to do? Does he make the pounce early, or does he wait until the final closing laps? Edson walks it up the hill, sideways for the 40, and here comes Fuller to the bumper.
Whoa. I yelled. I didn't have my mic keyed up, but I yelled, whoa. That was a little bit crazy. That 51 truck was sideways coming off the corner. This is going to get interesting in a hurry.
Talking about walking the dog. Boy, did Edson walk it straight up the hill off turn 4. Great save by the driver of the 40. These guys are really starting to get loosened up here in the closing laps at Las Vegas. A little bit straighter that time off 4 for the 40. He probably realized he made a mistake last time by and was doing everything he could to sort of get it back into line there. Chad Cole behind these guys. He's cut it down to 4.7, 0.3 last time by, but I just don't think he's going to have enough time to get there.
Now, he's not closing in quick enough right now, but if Fuller decides to take a little more good off those tires, like he did a lap and a half ago, Chad Coleman and even Jason Jacoby could run him down. We could have a 3 or 4 way race here to the finish line. I don't know whether that's going to happen. We'll have to wait and see. I kind of want to see a little more slide job going on there. That was pretty impressive and very, very exciting.
Speaking of Jacoby, he's now closed it down to 4.8, right behind Chad Cole, who's got it down to 4.5. Jacoby, remember, he was one of those drivers that stayed out the longest on that set of tires last time by. He was the last to pit in this cycle. And back up front, Trey Edson one of the first, as was Justin Fuller. So we may see that the short pitting starting to pay off as we're now just 13 laps away from the finish of this one. Trey Edson, Justin Fuller for the lead, and now in lap traffic, that's David Embig, the final truck on the lead lap, trying to hold on to that position in case we do have a late race mishap and slows us down one more time here at Vegas. But Edson had to get out of the throttle there to avoid the 2. That allows Fuller to maybe sneak his nose to the outside. And now over there sideways again off turn 4. Man, what a show these guys are putting on.
I can't even believe that Edson pulled that off. He was on the bottom, slid back up behind that number 2 truck, and somehow kept Fuller behind him. But it looks like Fuller's making a little bit of run up the inside right now. I'm going to go back to the front and check it out.
Fuller down to the bottom, couldn't quite make it work off 2. He'll try again in 3 and 4. This may be the final battle for the lead. Up front, the battle for the win ongoing as these two slide it off of turn number 4. By the way, Chad Cole in third has now got it down to 4 seconds. Less than 4 seconds. 3.8. He's coming, but he's only got 10 laps to do it.
I don't think he, like I said before, I don't think he has enough time. It took him about 4 laps to take 0.7 or 0.8 of a second out of those two lead cars or lead trucks. I'm going to get it right eventually. Those are definitely trucks. They have beds on them and everything. They're awesome. I don't think he has enough time to get it done. I'd love to see him get up there, as I'm sure everyone watching would love to see him get up there. I'm sure even Ben would love to see them get up there. But right now, we have 2 trucks. See, I got it right. Trucks. At the front of this pack, Trey Edson putting on a show for Justin Fuller. Justin Fuller doing everything he possibly can to fill Trey's mirrors and let him know that he's right there if Trey makes a mistake.
9.5 laps to go, coming to 9 this time by. Cole may be able to get to these two guys, especially with the way they're racing. If they come together and contact is made, sparks fly, then you could see the 3rd place and the 4th place. Cole and Jacoby maybe reel these guys in. Speaking of that 3rd place, it's now swapped. Jacoby battling Chad Cole for the final podium position. And, well, this is all up for grabs. An interview on the line and, like I said, the podium position as well. Jacoby, with the fresher tires, going to take advantage of the little older tires on Chad Cole's machine, and he'll take that position off turn number 4, so move Jacoby up to 3rd. Cole back to 4th. Now move Justin Fuller to the inside of Edson for the lead, and they almost come together. They're 3 wide with the traffic down in 1.
Fuller keeps getting his bumper right alongside Edson's front bumper, and they just can't make it stick. He can't keep the momentum down low that Edson has in the middle of the track. Edson's just probably carrying a mile an hour, maybe 2 mile an hour more through the middle of the corner, and that's all it takes. As soon as they leave the corner, Edson puts the truck back out front, and Fuller has to sit back behind him and just try to figure out how to do it all again. It's not looking like he can make it stick. Did hurt the tires with that slide, what was that, 10 laps ago or so. Not sure if he's got what it takes to get by, and this is definitely interesting.
All I can say is get the photo finish camera primed up, because this is certainly looking to be one of those kinds of races. Off turn 4, 6 to go, a big wiggle out of Edson there. That allows Fuller to close up. Now Edson, for the first time in a handful of laps, goes down to the apron to block the 51. Fuller down to the inside again in 1 and 2. Can he maybe slide him? No, not going to get it. And Edson fights back on the outside as he wiggles again.
Oh, that is unbelievable. He was a truck length. He had his whole truck in front of him. Fuller had his entire truck in front of Edson, and it still wasn't enough to hold the spot.
Just couldn't slide up in time. 5 laps to go at Vegas. Can Fuller catch back up to the bumper of the 40? Can he get there and make the move in the final 5 laps of this one?
How much lap traffic do we have that they're coming up on? I'm looking at the bumper of Edson right now. I need to spin that camera around, take a look out in front, and just see if there's any lap traffic in the way. I'd hate to see that play a role in this, but it definitely could if they're coming up on anyone.
Looks like J.D. Laird will be the last truck all race long they'll have to deal with. They catch him on the front straightaway. Now they're clear. Looks like for good. All the way to the checkered flag. 4 laps to go. Fuller back to the bumper. Again, running that slightly lower line down in 1 and 2, trying everything he can to maybe make the move and steal this win away from Trey Edson. Through 3 and 4, off of turn number 4 this time by 3 more circuits left at Las Vegas.
You have to wonder. It's asphalt. This is a bigger track. It's not a short track. They're not at Bristol. They're not at Martinsville. 1 lap to go. If he gets inside him there and happens to tap him, it's one of those things that could happen. I hate to see it come down to that, but it's Rubbin's racing. I think did Ricky Bobby say that? I think Ricky Bobby said that.
Somebody definitely said it. It was said at one point. This time by Popsicle sticks at the flag stand. 2 laps to go. A big wiggle off turn 2 for Fuller last time may have sealed the deal for Trey Edson, but a slight wiggle out of Edson off 4 that time puts Fuller right back in the mix. 2 more circuits here at Las Vegas, and he's going to do everything he can to get to the bumper. And, they always bring it up. Well, the bumper is a short track move. Well, we run bumpers on these things at all tracks for one reason, and that's to maybe apply it if it comes down to it, especially for a win here in Sim 500 competition. Edson, 2 truck links off of turn 4. He'll get the white flag, but a big run down the front straightaway for Fuller, and we're on the final lap.
Fuller is doing everything in his power to win this WCI Parts Truck Series race. He's given it everything he's got, but it just doesn't seem like he can make the bottom work. We've got half a lap to go, and it's still Trey Edson out front, Justin Fuller in second. Does he have anything for him coming to the checker?
Last-ditch effort in 3 and 4. He gave it a shot in 1 and 2. Couldn't get there. Trey Edson gonna win race number 3 at Las Vegas over Justin Fuller. A spectacular finish there. Jason Jacoby gonna come home 3rd. 4th goes to Chad Cole. And rounding out the top 5 gonna be Chad Coleman in that number 20. And how about Chad Cole there in the 82? That's his 3rd race in a row with a top 5 finish. He has finished every race this season top 5 for the big cat of the 82. But Trey Edson going to pick up his first victory of the season here in the WCIparts.com Truck Series. We'll talk to him and the rest of the podium finishers right after this. You'll watch his celebration on corner-to-corner coverage. We're going to keep on trucking until the post-race interviews.
All right, Watson, let's analyze the chemicals in this cigarette smoke. Cadmium?
Check.
Formaldehyde?
Check.
Arsenic?
Sir, isn't arsenic what they used in rat poison?
Yeah. Isn't arsenic what they use in rat poison?
Oh, what was I thinking, sir? It's not like we're gonna smoke them.
Neither will the rats.
Tobacco is no joke. Cigarette smoke has over 7,000 chemicals. Learn more at thefactsnow.com.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Welcome back to Las Vegas Motor Speedway. It was a spectacular show here in race number 3 in the WCIparts.com Truck Series, and a spectacular job by Sean Yoder in his first appearance here on the Sim Racing Network, and he's made his way down to pit road to catch up with our 3rd place finisher, Jason Jacoby.
Mr. Jacoby, welcome to the booth. First off, I want to apologize. I butchered your name at the beginning of this race. It's my first one here. I apologize for that, but it's good to have you in the booth. How in the world did you get here, man? It was an interesting march to the front, to the back, to the front. Just how'd you get here, man? It's take us through what it took to get you up to third place at the end of this event.
Thanks, Sean. Man, I have so much fun out here, and it's no problem at all for butchering my name. I did it last week to Gael. I had no idea Gail was Gael, so my bad on that. But Sean, it was an issue of me not being aggressive enough to get the lead from Chad on that first run. I was talking with John Mushkin earlier tonight, and we were just mentioning, like, anytime you don't get the win, no matter how slightly your mess ups may seem, anytime you don't get the win, you've messed up. So, but I did what I could to get back up to third place there, and it was just a matter of me not taking chances that I actually did have early in the race. So next week, I have a ton of fun out here, make the most of every opportunity I get, and but no worries at all for me finishing third. I just genuinely enjoy being out here each and every week. So yeah, those pitting late, I felt like Trey had the win, and boy, Justin and Trey were close up there too for the win. But I felt like Trey had it when he short pitted us so much, and sure enough, he did. I didn't expect Justin to be as close as he was, but then I stayed out banking on a caution coming, and I was just lost enough time to not be able to make it up there to the top two. But it was a good race.
Basically killed my second question. I was going to ask you about the late pit strategy there, and if you thought that actually hurt your chances towards the end. I know I went into a rather long little explanation about having more time after your pit stop to run them down. If you have to run folks down, the more time you've got, the better off you are. Did you just run out of time at the end? Do you think you had more truck, or was that all you had?
I think at the end of it, one area that I'm going to improve on for next time I'm ever in a situation like that is when Justin pitted two is when I needed to start going hard. I really started going easy after Justin pitted, and I probably lost quite a few tenths there by going easy after he pitted, just riding so slow out there. But then when we got, like you said at the end there, I had more time with those newer tires to catch them, but then I just didn't navigate the track and the cars I was passing as well as it could have been done to gain more time on Justin and Trey. So yeah, it was I think if we had a long run, I think I could have caught him, but at the end there I was just kind of fell into place because I knew we didn't have enough time at the end to catch Trey and Justin.
Had the truck just ran out of laps. Thanks for joining us in the booth, Jason. That was Jason Jacoby, the number 88 truck, finishing third tonight. Thanks so much for joining us up here. We're going to bring Justin Fuller up here into the booth now and get his take on coming in second. That was a heck of a run, Justin. We've got Justin in the booth now. That's awesome. I want to start off by saying that was one of the most exciting things to watch that I've seen in a long time, watching you and Trey battle. There was about 10 or 15 laps before the end. You got it sideways. I mean, crazy sideways. Did you think it was coming around? Did you think you had it the whole time, man? It was a heck of a lot of fun to watch.
Oh no, I mean there was we were definitely sideways. There was a couple times I thought I was gonna lose it. Just the rear tires were gone. I drove so hard to catch up the Trey because I know how much tires fall off and they kind of plateau. So I knew I had to get there quick. Once I got there, it was so hard to pass, but I was racing really hard. Trey and we have a lot of respect for each other. We're teammates. We were working together. So we raced each other clean. I raced him clean. Kind of shot a little jab at him there before you guys pulled me up here, and I said, "You suck because you led one more lap than me."
That's awesome. That's awesome. You guys are teammates, so is there a lot of setup sharing, strategy sharing between you guys? And the reason I'm asking that is because your lines were very, very different, especially off of 4 down the front stretch into 1. You were low. He was running middle to high. You were running middle of the track down low back to the middle. Definitely different strategies there, and it didn't really seem like one was faster than the other, but you did put your nose all the way up to his front bumper a couple times and just couldn't get the drive, is what it looked like.
Yeah, it's so hard when you're on the bottom to get the run off the corner because you need to use the entire track, and when you can't do that, you got more wheel into it, and you're trying to get that, and that's why you kept seeing me get sideways off the corner. So Trey knew what he was doing. As soon as I got to him, he had to run the high line because it was going to be really difficult for me to pass. Now, if we had fresher tires, it would have been a different story. He probably would have ran the bottom and made me go high to burn my stuff up a little bit quicker. But you never really can tell. We definitely different lines though. Even throughout the race, I was running lower than I think just about anybody. Just a cooler track down there. Nobody else was running down there, so there was grip. And the truck drove really good down there, and it had really good long run speed. I think that kind of showed. I mean, we had quite a gap on everybody behind us, so we worked really well together. As far as setup sharing, it's a fixed setup league, so I mean, we're all running basically the same thing, maybe different offsets and steering ratios, stuff like that. But other than that, just field strategy.
And that's me being completely new to this broadcast. I didn't know it was fixed setup until right.
Yeah,
That's the thing. That's the thing I learned tonight. Don't ask me to learn anything else. It was a lot of fun watching you guys run up front. It was a lot of fun watching you show him the nose so many times, man. It was a lot of fun to watch. So, congratulations on the second place finish. Congratulations on putting that number 51 up here on the podium. Thank you for joining us up in the booth. And right now, we are going to throw it down to victory lane with Mr. Ben Kilcrease and Mr. Trey Edson.
Thank you very much, Sean. Trey Edson victorious tonight here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. And, you know, we're not going to steer away from the fact that maybe the short pitting was the key to victory tonight. Trey, what's your thoughts on what got you here and what got you to the checkered flag?
I think you hit the nail on the head right there. First off, I want to apologize to James Pascarella and, golly, his name escapes me, Ryan Howard. We were 3 wide early in the race, and I had no idea I was at the bottom of 3 wide and drifted up into James and caused a big mess off 2. It didn't bring out a caution, but it was kind of the first part of a big caution. So apologize to them. Justin, we share a TeamSpeak channel. He was screaming at me. He's like 3-3-3-3-3, and I was already just too much momentum. But yeah, I short pitted about a lap or 2 there. I felt like I was better than both of them right before that green flag pit stop, but as you saw at the end, passing was extremely hard. I actually saved the right front a lot better than Justin, come to find out once we got back going there. So I did a better job saving the tires, but it didn't matter as much as I felt like it should. So I heard somebody, I think Fifth Six, say they were pitting, and I try not to be too far behind that. I try to leapfrog people and do what you saw. So. I knew the tires were only going to get me so much that somebody, whether it be Jason or Fuller, will eventually get back to me. I was just hoping that the tire were kind of evened out enough to where I could move up, give them room, but still kind of pinch them and make it hard on them. So Justin's a teammate. I knew he wasn't going to wreck me. He was actually keyed up and told me he was worried about getting loose and wrecking us both. And I told him, I was like, man, just race me. Just race me. It's a race. Don't worry about that kind of stuff.
Absolutely, and you guys put on one heck of a show for us up in the booth. Big, talk about moving up. You move up pretty big in the points from around 26th, 28th, all the way up to 13th. Really turn your season around starting tonight. Hadn't had the first couple of races that you wanted, but with the win here at Las Vegas, it really gives you a boost heading into the remainder of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. I was telling the admins, I don't know if they were still on the server now, but I was telling them last year, this series was by far the most fun I had. I only ran about half the season, but I ended up having the most wins amongst everyone. So I really enjoyed the truck. I've had an awful start, as you said. I was actually leading Daytona with 3 to go and got in an accident, and then Atlanta, sped on pit road, got impatient, wrecked myself. So we dug an early hole. Hopefully we can keep climbing the mountain and get ourselves in a good chase position in a few months. But it's my second race back with Kick-Ass Beef Jerky. They weren't on board at Daytona. We worked a deal out to jump back on board. They were my sponsor last year, so they're back on board. Finally get them back to victory lane, and just got to thank you guys. Y'all do a great job every week, and Joey for keeping this league growing. And I don't know where we go next week, but I'll be there.
we had to Texas, everything bigger in Texas, so maybe you can extend that last year's most win category up, one this season as well. You're tied for the most wins so far this season. If that's a stat you want to hear.
Yeah, I mean we're pretty early, but last year I had. I mean, I guess you could count it, but last year I had 7, so we got quite a ways to go.
Quite a ways to go indeed, and I'm pretty sure you could get up there. Just keep at it. Trey Edson, victorious here at Las Vegas. Congrats again on the win.
Appreciate it, guys. Y'all have a good one.
There you have it. Trey Edson, a spectacular show we got to witness tonight, Sean. I'm so glad you've joined us up here in the booth, and look forward to having you around more here at the Sim Racing Network. Did a spectacular job on your first outing, and, well, like I said, look forward to having you around some more over the course of the year.
I appreciate you letting me in here. Not to sound too corny, it was great, man. I had a great time. Haven't done this in a while. Looking forward to doing it some more. Thank you for bringing me on board. Sim500, as always, great series. Trey mentioned it. Joey and what Joey Jatine has done with this league is pretty darn impressive, considering where they were a couple years ago and where they are now. And it doing nothing but looking up. And then you guys, the Sim Racing Network, thank you for bringing me on board, man. I'll say it one more time. Thank you for bringing me.
We enjoyed it. And that's going to do it, though, for us for tonight here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Congrats to Trey Edson and everyone in the race on a spectacular showing here in race number 3. We look forward to race number 4 next Wednesday. Same time, different venue. It's Texas Motor Speedway. Join us tomorrow night live on the Sim Racing Network for the Sarah Dreamer Racing Super Series live from Oxford. It's the Hyde's Pride 150. That's taking the green flag just a little bit after 10 p.m. Eastern. But for Sean Yoder, Aaron Grosskopf, I am Ben Kilcrease saying good night from Viva Las Vegas. Remember, when you're out there on the roads, to put that phone down. We'll see you next time.